Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
What's up, everybody? Postgame pod coming to you after the Celtics takedown, lay the smackdown on the Cleveland Cavaliers, 138-107 at TD Garden. Celtics now 2-1 in the postseason. If they didn't fumble away a 27-point lead in Toronto, they'd be 3-0. Celtics dominate this game. A lot of positives to pluck through it. And yet, Joe Mazzulla goes to the podium after the game. And not in the best of moods. Maybe the most defining sequence of this game came midway through the second quarter. Celtics were already struggling on the defensive glass. And so I believe it was Anthony Simons who missed the first box out attempt or rebound attempt. And Joe Mazzulla snapped his fingers and sent Derek White in the game. Then Neemias Queta missed one snap, Josh Minott to the scorer's table. And then Ugo had a chance at a rebound, missed it, and there was a snap, and I don't even know if anyone ended up actually going to the scorer's table. They were running out of bodies at that point. I was thinking of the scene in Christmas Vacation where Clark's boss is getting the gift, and he's like, "Give me somebody while I'm waiting." And so Joe is just sending everybody down, trying to check in a whole new lineup. And this persisted after the game. And Joe just was his whole thing has been they need to find 5 guys that will rebound. He must have said it at least 5 times in the post-game press conference.
Joe, they missed 66 shots. You guys finished with 39 defensive rebounds. It's third straight game where you're somewhere in the 60-something percent range. What do you see as a solution for the defensive rebounding?
Just keep playing. Find guys that will rebound.
Is like, do the wings have to do more? Do you need to see more crash? What's the philosophy there as far as like wings crashing and stuff like that?
Find 5 guys that rebound.
And so despite a lot of the good that the Celtics did, this will gnaw at Joe and his team. Pray for them when they sit down to watch film on Monday, because I suspect a lot of the miscues will be highlighted. And right now it just comes down to effort and technique. And, the idea being Joe doesn't like he's sort of danced around anytime that anyone's asked him about the short leash, but it's clear, like it's so obvious. He is holding this team to a high level of accountability right now and will not allow them to have these sort of miscues, because he understands how vital it is for this team to win those margins when the regular season starts. And when you lose all the talent that the Celtics did, no matter how much you bring back, and more than most people seem to think, you're still left a little bit exposed. And so while the Celtics big men figure out both how this rotation is going to work and what their roles are going to look like, you have to at least finish off possessions. And if your defense works that hard to get one stop, you can't be allowing 3 different shot attempts. The Cleveland Cavaliers took 102 shots in this game, 20 more than the Boston Celtics. That is a margin. We heard Joe talk a lot last season about the shot differential, and that is one that he will simply not live with. So even though the Celtics made 7 more baskets, 43 field goal made compared to 36, they've just got to figure out a way to shore up this defensive glass. Kind of interesting, the Celtics tried out a starting lineup that, what I would call single big, because the front court was Brown and Hauser paired with Chris Boucher. And Boucher ends up only playing less than 11 minutes. He's really just sort of solidified. Like, they know what they got in Chris Boucher right now. Heavy run for Josh Minott. But even Garza plays 15 minutes. Tillman played 10, got a big burst at one point in the second half, and actually looked a lot more spry than he did in the first. And the other surprising part is Neemias Queta only plays 7:15. So one of the questions I come away with is, do the Celtics just know? Do they have a better sense of that front court than maybe we do from the games we've watched? Is Joe able to take from practices and kind of have a better idea of the rotation Maybe we'll get a better idea in Game 4, though I would suspect they will trade cautiously with some of their more veteran guys and use the practice time in the ramp to the start of the regular season to determine exactly how this is all going to look. We've seen double big with Boucher as a forward, paired with a couple different big men. We've seen Garza in the starting lineup. We've seen Tillman. And yet Keita got rest that first game, did not have a good debut in Toronto with the turnovers. And tonight, again, probably better the second shift than his first, but still did not play a lot. So I'm just curious, do they know, are they more confident based on what they've seen behind the scenes? Undeniably, it comes down to the rebounding has got to get better. Derek White is your leading rebounder in this game for the Boston Celtics, 7 rebounds. Minott had 6 in his minutes off the bench. Garza had 5. But they got to clean up some of this stuff. 51 total rebounds on those 102 shot attempts. And the 39 defensive rebounds. It's just not enough. And so when you consider that the other team missed, I'm going to try to do quick math here on the fly, 67 shots. That's a lot of opportunities for the Celtics to have to get better at. And Joe was not bashful about it. And it was entertaining from afar. I feel for my colleagues who, these are questions you got to ask. This is what we're all wondering. And there's not a lot of weaknesses to point to in a game like this when you win by such a lopsided margin. And yet, clearly, Joe bristled at a little bit at a question about the threes, even though I think that was kind of fair too. It was just saying, that it's been a little bit different, and the construct of this team is different. Joe's whole thing is that the philosophy hasn't changed. You're always trying to create 2-on-1s, loves creating advantages. You have to make good decisions from there, probably won't be asked about the threes a whole lot moving forward.
Joe, you guys have taken a lot of threes because your personnel has allowed for it these past few years. You guys are employing a faster paced style this year. Is the process of getting to those changed at all because of the faster pace? Does it lend to it differently, or is it just the same process?
I've answered that question 100 times. Find the 2-on-1, make the right play versus the 2-on-1. That's that simple. Could be a 3, could be a layup. Find the 2-on-1, do it. I've answered that for 2 years now. Find the 2-on-1. What does a 2-on-1 present? Are there 2 shooters on the 2-on-1? There's 2 shooters on the 2-on-1, you pass, you get an open shot. There's not 2 shooters on the 2-on-1, you cut. You create a 2-on-1 in a different way. I've answered that for 3 years. Why do we keep asking that?
Then
create 2-on-1s, find a 2-on-1. Everybody should be able to answer that question verbatim based on my answers to that question for almost 3 years now. What's our offensive philosophy? Create 2-on-1s. What do you do when you create the 2-on-1? Read it, find it. Last year, there was 2 38% three-point shooters in a 2-on-1 situation, so it was a pass shot. This year, there may not be a 38 to 40% three-point shooter on a 2-on-1 situation, so that 2-on-1 may be created off a cut, and then you can create a 2-on-1 in a different way. Then the cut allows us to get an offensive rebound. I don't understand. Why is it so hard? I said it for 3 years. I mean, you just keep ignoring what I said. Find the 2-on-1, make the right play versus a 2-on-1. For however long I'm here, that will be the offensive philosophy.
Any other questions? Adam?
You seem just a little frustrated. What was just your overall view of this game tonight, or was there something about the game
I'm not frustrated. I'm
that bothered you?
Extremely fulfilled and happy about what we're doing. I mean, if you get asked the same question for 3 straight years,
With the rebounding, like to Krause, you said find 5 guys. What are you seeing?
Find 5 guys that will rebound.
But what are you seeing?
I don't see 5 guys rebound. Mm-hmm. So then I go get 5, and they rebound. It's that simple. Doesn't matter about wings, bigs, doesn't matter. Find 5 guys that'll rebound, go. It's that simple.
On the individual side of things, Peyton Pritchard and Derek White look ready to go. Jaylen Brown seemed to put emphasis on being a playmaker tonight. Goes for 6 assists, had a nice little no-look at one point in there. The night really belonged to Minott, who continues to distinguish himself. I don't know how often I can put him in the up category in our little post-game digest, but Minott Mania is running wild. He had one sequence where, like, bunch of loud dunks and then hit a and 1 3-pointer and gave a little why not Minott celebration. The lawnmower is quickly endearing himself around here. Anthony Simons was great in this game in the bench role. Even said that he thought he was still kind of feeling things out a little bit at the start, but ends up going for a team high 21 points on 6 of 12 shooting, 6 3-pointers. You can see when he gets it going, it's something special. And I'm sure we'll be spending a lot of time on Simons on this podcast in the both over the course of the season and probably in the ramp. Like, how will he embrace that 6-man role if that's where he ultimately ends? But you can see the benefit. And credit to, he competed hard defensively. Again, like everybody else on this team, was out of position on rebounds a couple times, but maybe more so than his debut in Toronto. I thought he really tried to get physical, to be an impactful defender. And, it's not going to be perfect, and I think we all understand the limitations on certain players. And, the fact that he's willing to try to compete will help the Celtics figure out how exactly that will look in the bench role. Wendell Moore Jr. had one of the most vicious dunks. We were starting to fret that the game was pushing 2.5 hours total runtime here, 2 hours 32 minutes. And Wendell Moore Jr. had the entire bench just like falling out of its seats, and with a loud poster dunk at the end of this one, it was emphatic. And Jalen had a big dunk in transition. Minott had some loud windmill in transition, and then Wendell Moore Jr. puts the exclamation point on it. I was going to joke that at that point the Celtics have to just like find a spot for him. We'll see if he ends up there in Maine. The other big takeaway for me is just like through 3 preseason games now, you feel pretty good about what Brad did this offseason. And look, you can't possibly replace Luke Cornett, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis when you're trying to get the payroll in order. But to go out and get Boucher, Garza, and Minott, who look like they could be 3 of your core rotation guys and play important roles for this team. And we'll see what happens from there with Ugo and some of the recent draft picks, like when Jordan Walsh gets healthy and what Baylor Shireman continues to develop. But at least for those 3 guys that Brad went and got, they're gonna be part of the core to start the season. They're gonna be rotation guys, and you've at least given yourself a chance to kind of figure this thing out. And can't lie, I'm ready for games. I know we got one more preseason game on Wednesday night. We'll see what the Raptors, if they roll out some more starters than we saw up there, if the Celtics elect to use it as a little bit of a dress rehearsal as well, or if they just kind of put their key guys on ice in short order. But we're getting closer, 10 days away from real basketball, and you have to feel really confident about where your team is at. Might not always show with the way Joe Mazzulla talks after games, but there's a lot of positive with these Celtics. They just need, if I'm listening to Joe right, 5 guys who can rebound, and everything else will take care of itself. Here's more from our post game. We'll catch you on Wednesday night.
That's why you can rely on 24 Auto Group. They will treat you like family, and that's because they are family owned and operated. They're honest, easy to work with, and they just get it. Whether you're looking for something sporty, something luxurious, or just a solid everyday ride, 24 Auto Group always comes through. With 9 brands and 11 locations across New England, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. They've got the knack to save you more on a new or pre-owned vehicle, and the knack to pay you more for your trade, up to $2,400 over book value. You can even drive home with just $24 down. So if you want the best deal without the runaround, go see my guys at 24 Auto Group, because you always get more at 24.
Very entertaining 31-point blowout win for the Celtics in preseason action at TD Garden. It is Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles, Chris Forsberg, Eddie.
Wait. We got to pull the ripcord on the lawnmower.
Yeah. And we're going to see those from time to time throughout the show as well. And
can we just put it on a loop for like a half hour?
That and the Wendell Moore Jr. dunk that we saw at the end there. I mean, seriously, it came all the way to the final minute of this game. It was just highlight after highlight. But, Eddie, your thoughts on what you saw tonight from the Celtics?
Well, I would say the first half was the most impressive because they started the game out with high energy. They were buzzing around on defense. They were knocking down shots. They were sharing the basketball. And it was the guys that are going to be out there for the majority of the time getting the most minutes. And then I like the way that when the other guys came in, they followed suit. They did the same exact thing. And then on the flip side of that, also love the way that Joe coached them. You know, Joe had them. Everybody was on a short leash. If you missed a box out, offensive rebound, you gave up offensive rebound, you were coming out. So I like the standard that he's setting. I like, obviously, they have been practicing, playing hard, and that this is the way that they're going to have to play to compete. And I've been telling people this for a while. Don't be surprised. The Celtics aren't going to be in the cellar. People think that they're going to be a team that's not going to get many wins. They're still going to make the playoffs. You know, they're still going to be right there in the thick of things, and they'll beat some good, really, really good teams. But I thought the way that they played together, hard, and also knocked down the shots, and the way Joe coached, man, I loved everything about it.
I'm ready for real games. That's where I'm at. Like, you saw Peyton and Derek, all the returning core guys, Sam getting to the free throw line a million times. Everyone looks good there. Brad Stevens clearly, I know it's early and I'm overreacting, but knocked it out of the park this offseason. Minott looks like a rotation guy. Garza's going to help. Boucher looks like he could be a starter for this team as well. And I just feel like this team is ready to go with what they've got. There's still question marks. Like, Cade has got to turn it up. Simons obviously was great tonight. Got to figure that out, like what his role is and how to maximize his offensive talents. But like, it just feels like we're ready to go. Can we just fast forward through the last? I mean, you're still going to watch everybody, but
one
like
more preseason game, yeah.
Yeah, like
it's here before you know it. I mean, 10 days away from regular season.
It's gonna be a long. I don't know. I'm gonna go a little stir crazy.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, let's enjoy.
We want some dunks or something.
No, the Minott dunks were special. Actually, he's standing by with Abby back at TD Garden.
Josh, your first game inside TD Garden, what'd you think?
Man, it's amazing, bro, being on this side of it. And I was here, a year ago, and it's just, I know what they're capable of, and it's crazy, the love, support, everything in Boston. It's surreal out here.
You put on a show as well, had some monster dunks, but I want to ask you about the celebration right after you hit the three for the 4-point play. What is that?
Hey, man, it's that why not, my not. Yeah, I'll be throwing that up.
I thought you wanted to be called the lawnmower.
I mean, it's a bunch of different nicknames. You got a lawnmower, why not? You got J-Day, the Instagram handle, all that.
Good with all of them?
Yeah.
What do you feel like you have been able to show in this preseason?
I feel like just defensive versatility. It starts with that. I mean, I feel like after that, everything is a plus. You know, I'm just doing what Joe expects me to do. Just trying to muck up the game, make it harder on the opposing offense, stuff like that.
31-point win tonight. How close is this team to getting to the identity that Joe wants you guys to play with?
I'd say we're very close. Just continue to, keep getting in shape, I feel like, because the expectation on defense is just, speed the other team up. So we're just trying to be the fastest, most physical team every night and just make it uncomfortable for the other team.
Josh, thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, have a good one.
Every time.
All right, why not Minott? And the Celtics 2-1 now in this preseason. Again, they've got one left against Toronto. That game coming your way on Wednesday. But right now we got to go back to, because there was another highlight dunk in the final 30 seconds of this game. Wendell Moore Jr. throwing down, and the reaction from our guys in the front row. Seemed like you guys were a little surprised. Weren't expecting that in the final 30 seconds. Drew and Scal joining us now. And, yeah, plenty of entertaining moments in this one, fellas.
Yeah, I want to know what Abby was upset about after the interview. Every time it's a great interview when Abby's doing it. That was another awesome one. I really like that Josh Minott guy. Super energetic. He's going to play really hard. I mean, I feel like he's going to play a lot for the Celtics.
And he's talented. He's long. He's athletic. He gets after it defensively. And he just got here, and he seems like he fits in really well with the group. And Eddie can kind of expand on this. a lot of role players, they got to be able to operate out of the corner. He seems really comfortable doing that, which means he could fit in with a lot of different lineups with this group.
Yeah, that's where he's been, most comfortable. That's where he's been stationed through 3 preseason games now. He's a guy who, last year, almost half of his shots were from 3 with Minnesota. He didn't play a whole lot, so it's a small sample, but almost half of his shots were 3s, which was up 20 points from the year before. So you can tell that he's trying to change his game to play more in the modern NBA. Obviously, to play for the Celtics, he's going to have to shoot some 3s, but I think the more important stuff, Scal, will be the rebounding and the defending and getting out in transition.
Yeah, energy plays are the things that really stood out. And this whole group is like that. Like, these guys get after it. We were talking about Joe on the broadcast. Offensive rebound happens. Joe's watching the game over there. He snaps his fingers, and then all of a sudden a sub comes up, and they just replace the guy who gave up the offensive rebound. You can talk about all kinds of things in basketball, but it's what you emphasize and what you hold guys accountable to doing. It feels like they're going to hold guys accountable to rebounding the ball. If this team is a defensive rebound team, we can be dangerous because there's a lot of offensive talent, a lot of shooting, great spacing, some high IQ guys. But rebounding to me, it still clearly is a problem. But if you can emphasize it enough, maybe you can get over that hump. And everyone, I felt like, got better as the second half went as far as getting on the glass.
Yeah, and speaking of the offensive talent, which we know is abundant, we saw it from Anthony Simons tonight.
Big-time shot maker.
That guy is a serious bucket. 6 for 9 from downtown. He's got that quick release. He's got some real wiggle when he's getting around guys. Just a little step back. He is Dame-ish, right?
Yeah, he's tough, and all his footwork kind of does look like Dame. How Dame kind of creates shots, but it's just another option that this team is going to have. You see the evolution of Peyton Pritchard and his growth offensively. He's going to go one-on-one a lot more. He's going to get more opportunity. I think Derek White's going to get better. We know Jaylen Brown's been chomping at the bit for this opportunity. So I think offensively we're going to be fine. It's just a matter of all the other stuff. But yeah, we got some this scouting department, the basketball development side of it. I think the player development side. I think that this group is going to be good, but they got to rebound the ball.